Good morning. I'm Dwight Keene. I'm the chair of the Kansas Corporation Commission. I'm joined this morning by my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Susan Duffy and Commissioner Andrew French. At this time, I will call to order this meeting of the Kansas Corporation Commission on this 27th day of January, 2022. Commissioners, the first matters up for our consideration are 27 items on the consent agenda. However, it's my understanding that we are going to pull 3 of these items, items 1, 2, and 16. So the dockets involved in that items 1 and 2 is 20-CONS-3102-CMSC, and the other docket is 21-CONS-3096-CMSC. And we're pulling, as well as I indicated, item number 16, which is a transportation item, docket number 22-DPAX-310-PEN.
I believe that's not a transportation, but a cut-put item.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Commissioners, you've had a chance to review the draft orders and all of these matters. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? And I'll begin with Commissioner Duffy.
I have no questions or comments.
Thank you, Commissioner French.
No questions. I'd move approval of the consent agenda with items 1, 2, and 16 removed.
I second the motion.
Moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda in accordance with the description provided by Commissioner French. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved with the exception of items 1, 2, and 16. We have several noticed items before us this morning. The first noticed item, we have a couple of dockets that are incorporated into this item. First is docket number 21-BHCG-334-CIG. This is in the matter of the investigation into Black Hills, Kansas Gas Utility Company, DBA Black Hills Energy, regarding the February 2021 winter weather events as contemplated by docket number 21-GIMX-303-MIS. And we have docket number 21-BHCG-370-MIS. This is in the matter again of Black Hills Energy. This is for a waiver of tariff. Before this morning is an order on unanimous settlement agreement, and the presenter is David Cohen, Assistant General Counsel. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Commissioners. From February 7th, 2021 to February 19th, Kansas experienced extreme weather events resulting from prolonged sub-zero temperatures across the state. On February 15th, 2021, the Commission issued an emergency order directing jurisdictional gas utilities to do everything necessary to ensure natural gas service continued to be provided to their customers in Kansas. The Commission authorized every natural gas utility to defer extraordinary costs into a regulatory asset account. On March 9th, 2021, the Commission opened dockets specific to each utility in order to address their extraordinary costs. On June 16th, 2021, Black Hills filed its plan to minimize the financial effects of the winter weather event, which included paying off the extraordinary costs over a 5-year period using Black Hills' current weighted average cost of capital of 7.98%. On July 20th, 2021, the Commission consolidated this docket with another Black Hills docket related to waiver of penalty provisions for transportation customers during the winter weather event. In this docket, Blue Mark Energy LLC, Freedom Pipeline LLC, National Gas Transportation Customer Coalition, National Beef Packing Company LLC, CURB, and the Kansas Attorney General were all granted intervention. On November 9th, 2021, Black Hills staff, CURB, and National Gas Transportation Customer Coalition filed a joint motion to approve the settlement agreement. The settlement agreement is attached to the order. Other intervening parties were not signatories, but were not opposed to the agreement. While the agreement is long and complex, I will note some of the highlights. It allows customers to pay off the balance of the extraordinary costs over 5 years. The average residential bill will increase by $11.47 a month. This is a reduction from the original plan, which called for Black Hills filed, which would have seen an increase of about $12.23 a month. One aspect, which is especially worth pointing out, is that the original proposal had a carrying cost of 7.98% throughout. The original proposal. This agreement has a carrying cost of 1.3% from December 2021 to January 2022, and 5.71% thereafter, which according to staff will save customers around $7 million. Extraordinary costs are allocated on a volumetric basis with an annual true-up. Any recovery based on government action will be passed on to customers, even if the relief happens after the 5-year period of payback. Because no party opposes this agreement, the commission evaluates it using a 3-factor test. Those factors are whether the agreement is supported by substantial and competent evidence as a whole, whether the agreement will establish just and reasonable rates, and whether the agreement is in the public interest. This order finds that based on supporting testimony from Justin Grady, Michael Gorman, Josh France, and Robert Daniels, that all of the factors are met. I'm available for questions. I'm sort of giving you a real high level analysis because this is a long and sort of deep subject.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I think that was an excellent summary, actually. Appreciate it very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this order and this matter? I'll begin with Commissioner Duffy.
Thank you, Chairman Keen, and thank you, Mr. Cohen, for the explanation. So this is a painful process for the consumers who, while the lights were kept on, the heat was there and available. And for the most part, we weathered the storm. There is the price to pay afterwards. The gas is a commodity that flows through. And whatever the cost is, that is what the customer will pay. I do believe that the settlement represents the best interests of the customer in that the carrying charges were lowered to really reflect, I think, the bare minimum needed to assure that the company is able to continue their work and maintain their credibility overall. $11.47 is the average what a customer will pay. That is very high. We understand that that is a tremendous increase. It is over a 5-year time period. But the safeguard is in place that if the continued work by the Attorney General and those at the federal level determine that there was nefarious activity going on, customers will be reimbursed for that. And that has not been resolved at this point. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to speak on this.
Thank you. Commissioner French.
Well, I'll just add, I think that's, I would subscribe to pretty much everything Commissioner Duffy said. I think this is a very appropriate way to handle a very painful situation. And the commodity price of the gas is what it is. And we don't really have a way to impact that. But I think the settlement and the reduction of carrying costs associated with that is a really important consumer protection. It ensures that customers are paying the absolute least they could on this. And it also guarantees that the company isn't earning any sort of profit or margin on this. It's purely the cost of gas plus the cost to finance it over a time period. And that financing is also really important because it allows these retail customers to pay this over time with a smaller monthly addition than what otherwise would have been required. And that's something that's really important because there are a lot of commercial customers that are not being afforded that opportunity. People that are not retail customers, many of them are having to pay these costs immediately if they were more exposed to the market. And so there are many protections here that are afforded to Black Hills customers. And I think this is, it's an unfortunate situation, but I think the staff and all the parties have done a good job to develop an agreement that really does balance interest and protect customers as much as they possibly can. So I'll be happy to vote in favor. And at this time, I would move approval of the described order in this docket.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the order that's pending in this docket. Is there any further discussion? I would add my 2 cents worth in at this point as well. I would subscribe to the observations of my two fellow commissioners. One brief question by way of backfilling a little bit for you, David. Tell us again, if you would, about the carrying charges or costs during the 5-year payout period.
Sorry, you cut out there for a minute.
During the payment period.
So the carrying costs will be 1.3%, and that dates back to December of 2021 up to the end of this month. And then it'll be 5.71% going forward. And that is opposed to the 7.98% that was originally proposed. And I guess one thing I should clarify, and it really sort of emphasizes the importance of the agreement, is if customers were asked to pay this off over a 1-year period, according to staff, the average monthly increase would have been about $57 a month.
That's helpful to know. Thank you for that addition. This is an attempt to try to make the best of a really bad situation, obviously. And I'm glad that the parties to the settlement agreement were able to arrive at the conclusion they have. I think it does try to strike a balance between a number of really terrible options and come out with something that is in the best interest of the consumers, given the circumstances that are here, and preserves the viability of the company in the process. So, having said that, any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. Thank you very much, David.
Thank you.
Next noticed item up for our consideration is docket number 22-ATMG-203-TAR in the matter of the application of Atmos Energy for approval of by the commission of a gas system reliability surcharge per KSA 662201 through 662204. We have before us this morning an order adopting the staff's report and recommendation. And our presenter this morning is Assistant Litigation Counsel Jared Jevons. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning, Commissioners. On November 4th, Atmos filed an application with the Commission seeking approval of changes to its gas system reliability surcharge tariff schedule. Atmos's requested tariff is designed to provide for an incremental revenue increase of $2,311,832 based upon additional capital expenditures totaling $20,146,497. The gas system and the Gas Safety and Reliability Policy Act allows natural gas public utilities to recover costs for infrastructure system investments through a monthly surcharge if certain conditions are met. The act also requires staff to examine information from the utility and confirm the underlying costs are in accordance with statutory provisions. Staff filed an R&R in this matter on January 3rd, 2022. Staff performed an audit of Atmos's application to verify the surcharge was properly calculated and that the projects Atmos sought recovery on met at least one of the criteria set forth in KSA 662202F. Ultimately, staff recommended several of the projects be considered ineligible for recovery in the GSRS. Those ineligible projects are discussed in greater detail in staff's report in paragraphs 13 through 15 of the draft order in front of you. With those projects being deemed ineligible, staff recommended the commission approve an incremental revenue increase based upon an additional $19,867,659 of requested capital expenditures. Further, staff recommends an incremental GSRS revenue requirement of $2,280,905. This is a $30,000 decrease from AMIS's requested amount. The agreed upon GSRS results in a monthly increase of 80 cents or $9.60 annually for residential customers. Thank you, and I will stand for questions.
Thank you very much, Jared. Any questions, comments, or concerns here of Jared? They go to Commissioner Duffy, please.
Thank you. I would like to thank staff for their diligence in reviewing the underlying costs of each of the projects, making sure that they are in conformance with statute. And they did find some that did not meet the criteria, and those are being pulled. So I think that's important that we review what's being proposed to ensure that it is meeting the letter of the law. Also, I'd like to point out that the 80 cents per month represents the maximum that can be charged for this type of work. That change was made a couple of years ago by the legislature, increasing the amount from 40 cents per month to 80 cents is my understanding. And I believe this goes to absolutely necessary work to ensure the safety of the residents in the Atmos territory.
Thank you. Commissioner French.
Yeah, I'll subscribe to all of that as well. I think, you know, this docket's a really good illustration of the auditing work that our staff does to really pick through what's being proposed and make sure that it fits with the description of what we're going to allow through these surcharges. And they certainly do not pass through this building without a very careful review. And I think that's evidenced here. And I'd also subscribe to the comments that, you know, while this is an impact on customer bills and it does go up to the 80 cent limit, these are some of the investments that I think Kansas customers appreciate. I mean, it is true, infrastructure in the ground. It is old assets that have safety issues being replaced, and we see results from that. So these are important investments. And so with that, I would move for approval of the described order in this docket.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the order in this docket. Is there any further discussion? At this time, I would add me too to the observations of both my fellow commissioners. To me, I think and I think Commissioner French just touched upon it pretty eloquently, but for me, these are capital expenditures that have a very strong safety component tied to them. This is an effort to try to provide a long-term solution to a problem, which is basically we're replacing older steel with newer component lines, and the safety benefits that accrue as a result of that are really substantial. Having said that, again, any further discussion? Hearing none, I would this time call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. Thank you, Jared. Our third, you're on the hook here a couple more times, my friend. Let's move on to our third noticed item. It's docket number 22-SPEE-236-TAR. This is in the matter of Southern Pioneer Electric Company. It has to do with a 2021 property tax surcharge filing for 2022 rates. The order before us, pardon me, is the order approving the property tax surcharge rider. And again, our presenter is Jared Jevons. Jared, please.
Thank you. The order before you is for approval of Southern Pioneer's 2022 property tax surcharge rider. On December 28th, Southern Pioneer made its annual ad valorem filing with the commission in compliance with the commission's June 13th, 2013 order and docket number 13 MKEE 695 TAR. After Southern Pioneer updated its filing with tariff and rates based on final December kilowatt hour sales, Southern Pioneer requests to recover $1,704,327 of its property tax expense via its proposed property tax surcharges. Southern Pioneer's property tax surcharge tariff contains 3 different surcharges, one for retail customers, one for sub-transmission customers, and one for local access charge customers. For residential customers, Southern Pioneer requested an annual property tax surcharge of $1,238,952, which results in a rate of 0.3925 cents per kilowatt hour. For STR customers, Southern Pioneer requested an annual property tax surcharge of $150,004, which results in a rate of 0.032 cents per kilowatt hour. For local access charge customers, Southern Pioneer requested an annual property tax surcharge of $315,371, which results in a rate of $1 and 1.786 cents per kilowatt. Based on average residential customer usage of 764 kilowatt hours per month, Southern Pioneer's proposed property tax surcharge rider factor would increase Kansas residential customer bills by approximately $1.12 per month or $13.43 annually. The proposed surcharge would be in effect from February 2022 through January 2023. Staff submitted an R&R in this matter on January 14th, 2021. Staff performed an audit of Southern Pioneer's 2021 ad valorem tax statements and concludes that Southern Pioneer's 2022 property tax surcharges are properly calculated and that they will be properly collected via Southern Pioneer's property tax surcharge tariff. Therefore, staff recommends the commission's approval of Southern Pioneer's revised property tax surcharge rider. Thank you, and I will stand for questions.
Thank you, Jared. Commissioners, any questions, comments, or concerns? I'll begin this time with Commissioner French.
No questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Duffy.
I have no questions and I move approval of the described order.
Is there a second? Been moved and seconded that we approve the order in this docket. Is there any further discussion? I would add just this one thing in passing. These are pass-throughs. These taxes that accrue to the utility are pass-throughs, and as a result, the amount of the tax is going to be the amount that's pro rata paid by the ratepayers. Having said that, any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. Final notice item on our final notice item on our agenda this morning is docket number 22-PLCE-279-DAR. In the matter of the application of Prairie Land Electric Cooperative, Inc., filing its 2022 property tax surcharge. We have an order before us this morning approving the property tax surcharge rider, and our presenter again is Jared Jevons. Jared, take it away.
Thank you. The order before you is for the approval of Prairie Land Electric Cooperative's 2022 property tax surcharge rider. On December 30th, Prairie Land made its annual ad valorem filing with the commission in compliance with the commission's August 27th, 2013 order and docket number 14 MKEE 084 TAR. Prairie Land submitted an updated filing on January 13th, 2022 with updated tariffs and rates based on final December kilowatt sales. Prairie Land requested an annual ad valorem tax surcharge of $52,774, which results in a rate of 1.6455 cents per kilowatt for local access charge customers. The requested amount is in addition to the property tax expense that was included in base rates during calendar year 2021. This would result in a 27% decrease when compared to the 2021 rate. The proposed surcharge would be in effect from February 2022 through January 2023. Staff submitted its R&R in this matter on January 19th, 2021. Staff reviewed Prairie Land's 2021 ad valorem tax statements and concludes that Prairie Land's 2022 property tax surcharge is properly calculated and that it will be properly collected via Prairie Land's property tax surcharge tariff. Therefore, staff recommends approval of Prairie Land's 2022 property tax surcharge. Thank you, and I will stand for questions.
Thank you again, Jared. Commissioners, any questions, comments, or concerns? I'll begin with Commissioner Duffy.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner French.
No questions. I'll move approval of the described order in this docket.
And I second the motion.
Very well, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the order in this motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. Very well. By my reckoning, we have come to the end of all of those matters on our agenda for today. Commissioner Duffy, please.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, I would like to wish all our staff a wonderful Kansas Day celebration Saturday. And it was just 161 years ago that this great state was admitted to the Union during tumultuous times. And I do believe absolutely our motto is more true today than it was on the prairie with the pioneers those 161 years ago. So happy Kansas Day, everybody.
Here.
Thank you, Commissioner Duffy. If there's nothing further to come before the commission, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're adjourned. Take care.
Take care,
Thank you.
everyone.